everyone. Welcome to the LovenStamps studio. My name is Meg and I am excited to share a card with you. I know, like, gone bonkers, right? Who would have guessed? But if you can't tell from my very bright shirt today, we are all about color. And color today is going to be so much fun. I'm going to give you some really cool techniques. So we might as well call this, I don't know, like Technique Tuesday or something like that, because I have a really awesome technique to share with you that features the LovenStamps focus for this month, the Ocean Friends stamp set, and Ocean Friends of the Ocean Designer Series papers. All of these, actually that's not even the pretty side of the paper, this side of the paper, and that's not the pretty side of the stamp set, goodness gracious. Anyway, really great things that I'm going to share with you this morning. And I'm going to show you how to make your stamped images look an awful lot like the ones that are in the designer series paper. So we've been using these quite a bit, and you know you can go ahead and cut those out with the dies. You could fussy cut them if you want, but the dies are really fast. And then but the thing is, you know, eventually, someday you run out of paper. So I'm going to show you how to use your stamp set to make a really, really gorgeous multicolored images with two-step stamping to the next level. So we're going to do some ombre inking today. All right, so with that, I don't know if you guys can tell that I'm excited, but I am excited. I've been playing around with these, and I have some different samples to show you. Plus, we're making a fun fold card today. I feel like my ombre inking is like exciting in my head, so it's like even more than the fun fold. And I'm going to show you two versions of the card, one with a totally different stamp set, because we are still in the month of February, which is still celebration. So exciting things going on there. All right, with that, I think I'm going to go ahead and switch our camera down. There we go. All right, and I need a hair clip because you know we're doing a lot of inking today, so we don't want to get too crazy. Hey Trish, hey Joan, hey Lori. Thanks for saying hi, guys. It's always nice to see everybody. All right, so our fun fold card here is going to feature a lemon lime twist as the card base. And so I've actually cut, was regular size, so 8.5 by 5.5 with a score in the middle at 4 1/4. But I went ahead and trimmed away, must be like 1.5 inches from the front, so that this is a little bit overlapped here. And this is a card design that I really like when you have a relatively small focal point that you just want to emphasize, and you can easily add this fun fold. So, I don't know if you can hear Pepper in the background, but she is certain that she is supposed to be someplace outside in our sunny weather. It's extremely cold. It was like 3 degrees this morning. Let's see. Oh, Joan says the lobsters are not on her list, but she loves a DSP. Okay, we'll see what you think at the end. Okay, Joan, hang in there. So what we're going to do is we are going to make this a reverse panel fold card. So I've got a piece of Pumpking Pie cardstock here that is 3 1/4 inches by 6.5 and just folds in half. And then this is going to fit here as our reverse fold. I know I'm like showing you all the cool stuff right up front because this is fun, but not even the cool part. Now, how did I pick these colors? I started with our designer series paper, which comes in these fantastic colors. Yes, I totally agree, Joan. The paper is gorgeous. And so I decided that I wanted to go ahead and make a little, we're going to make a little crab friend here to go on. And so I wanted to make a 3 by 3 square here. And so we're going to go ahead and layer these two papers here. I thought about using Flirty Flamingo. If I'd used Flirty Flamingo, I probably would have gone with a different, instead of Pumpkin Pie, I would have used Flirty Flamingo here. I'm using Flirty Flamingo and Melon Mambo. You can kind of see how those go. Do you guys take your papers and kind of mix and match them like this to decide what works best? I totally love doing that. So let's go ahead and pull these cards in here. And like I said, this is going to be a 3 by 3 panel. So I have these cut to a 2-inch section and a 1-inch section. All right, I know if you're listening to poor Pepper want to be outside, the problem is if I let her outside, it's like 4 degrees out, and then she'll just go outside and then she'll be cold, and then I'll have to get up and go let her in. So It's like little kids when you're on the phone, right? They pick their times to go and knead things. So, all right. So I'm going to go ahead and layer those there. Hey, Margie. All right. And now we are going to go ahead and adhere this inside. So I'm going to go ahead and add some adhesive to the back. This is where I really love multi-purpose liquid glue. So much that I know its product number 110755 because I order so much of it. But I'm just gonna layer this inside here. The reason that the glue is so great is that it gives you that extra second or two if you're like, no, it's not quite straight or it's not quite where I want it. This gives you just a couple seconds to go ahead and slide things around a tiny bit, okay? So now I have the pieces where I want them. All right. So now let's start some ombre stamping. All right, are you guys excited for this? All right, so first I'm going to show you the what not to do example, and then we're going to come back and we're going to do exactly what we want with this. So I have two colors here. I have peach pie and pumpkin pie. And if you look at the paper samples here, you can get a lot of inspiration from this. You'll notice that none of these little ocean crustacean friends are just flat with one color. Okay, they all have more than one color on them. Okay, so let's take a look at what happens when we go ahead and stamp them with just one color. So I have peach pie here, and I'm going to go ahead and ink up the background stamp here with peach pie, and then stamp here on my paper. Okay, so we've got our peach pie here, and then I'm going to take my pumpkin pie. That color is really strong. I'm going to take my pumpkin pie, which I have inked recently here, and I'm going to stamp over the top. So there we have two colors stamped for our two-step stamping. So very pretty, right? A pretty image, but we can totally make more of this. We're going to add in a second color, or we're going to add in some extra shading, I should say. So I'm going to come back here to my peach pie outer layer. I'm going to bring in a little bit of grid paper, which is my go-to handy here. I'm going to stamp off so that I have a little bit less of that peach pie ink on there, because now what I want to do is take my blending brush and ink up my blending brush, and I'm just going to tap around the edges. I love blending brushes for this. You can also use sponge daubers, but you're just going to add a little bit of color back on those edges there. So now when we stamp this background, we have this really cool shaded. Now these are the same two ink pads as the top sample here, okay? You can see that this is looking really different. So I'm going to take my second, again, my pumpkin, and layer over the top and get this lined up and stamp. Okay. All right, so you tell me, with the blending brush, it just adds so much to these little guys, right? So different. I'm really, really kind of flabbergasted by the difference, okay? All right, now let's try one more actually, just for fun. Let me grab another paper here. What if we went one step further and did what Stampin' Up suggested? So I'm gonna go ahead and, because I've inked this in more than one color, I'm gonna go ahead and clean that. Let's do what their artists have us suggested and add 3 colors. So I'm going to add peach pie. I'm going to stamp off. Remember, if you have too strong of a color, you have to take off the background before you can add more. Then I'm going to add our pumpkin pie around the edges because we know that we really like those combination. Okay, and then let's bring in a third color. Let's bring in a little bit of Melon Mambo. I'm going to ink this one up and add some Melon Mambo around the edges here. Oh gosh, okay, I think I'm gonna have to, Pepper's gonna win. And then let's go ahead and stamp this here. Oh, that's really nice, isn't it? All right, plus it matches our card so well. Now I'm gonna come back with my pumpkin pie and stamp the overlayer. And ta-da, there we have our 3-color ombre image. What do you guys think? If we do this, like 1, 2, 3. It's pretty amazing, isn't it? The difference between this And this, I'm kind of impressed. So blending brushes all the way. All right, so let's go ahead, let's do the same thing in another color set. I've got all these pieces cut here because in the paper they have some really great different choices. So what if we did our color base in Petal Pink? I'm gonna pull in here, clean this off because it's not clean. And Petal Pink is pretty light, so I think I'm gonna use it flat. We'll do that one there, but then I'm going to ink it again, and we're going to add in a little bit of Melon Mambo directly to our Petal Pink. So we're going to give this a little bit more character. And then, you know what, I'm kind of on a three color kick here, so I'm going to add in some Pumpkin Pie, just a little bit along the edges out there, okay? Now let's ink that, or stamp that one. Oh, okay, this is looking pretty good so far, isn't it? Then the great thing about this particular stamp set for playing with this technique, oh, I don't want orange for this. I think we want to do Melon Mambo overlay to go with the pink. The great thing about this particular stamp set is it's super organic, right? Like we've all seen crustaceans. They have so much cool color variation. They do not have to match any particular so there's sort of I'll call it the flat one, any particular color scheme. So you can do whatever you like. If you look up pictures of sea life, you will surely see some cool varieties of colors. So there is that one there with the color added. Pretty, right? Okay, we just added just a tiny bit of orange down there to really bring out the orange in that. All right, and let's see. Now there's one more combination. I kind of want to do the Flirty Flamingo one. You guys want to see it? All right, so let's get some stuff out of the way. I have so many fun ink pads here. Oh, here they are. Okay, so I think Flirty Flamingo for the background on this one. Let's set this one up. And I need one more paper. And so we'll ink this one flat. Now, Pretty Flirty Flamingo is a pretty strong color, so I'm going to go ahead and do, for our second version, I'm going to do the stamp off version to take some of that ink off so that I can add back what I want. And then what should we add with our Flirty Flamingo? I think we're going to add a little bit of Pumpkin Pie. So we'll get a little orange in there. And then I think we're going to do Calypso Coral over the top of it. So let's bring in some Calypso Coral now. Let's see, here we go. And I'm gonna add some color around here. Soften, there's like a little line on the ink there. All right, and now we're gonna stamp this. Okay, those are looking kind of fun. A little extra shading, right? Not quite so flat. The pumpkin didn't come out quite as strong, except out here at the edge, but that's okay. And then we're gonna clean off our second layer stamp, and let's see, is this Calypso Coral? It is. We're gonna go ahead and ink this one up. So here's what the flat version looks like. There, pretty? It is pretty. Like, it's a great stamp and a great set, but let's go ahead and add to this one and see what we get. Oh, I like that one a lot better. There's just a little bit more interest and motion and so forth. So if you look at ours compared to the printed version, they're not exactly the same. You could play with them if you wanted something exactly the same, but honestly, we're not too far away. We have a lot of very similar shading and variation. So the stamps are really well suited to create this very like organic sea life kind of effect, all right? So it's really one of my favorite stamp sets that I've used for a while because it just lets you be so creative in your colors. And you could use any colors that you like for this. You don't have to do the colors in the designer series paper even. You could have blue and green crabs. You could have shaded spruce and shaded spruce and pretty peacock and blueberry bushel. Now I kind of want to get done with our video here and go make my own colors. So yes, this is a great stamp set for kind of creating your own artistic expression. Lots and lots of different choices and different ways that you can use these. So, all right, so let's go back here and finish up our card. I actually have one of our multicolored creations here that I've die cut already. Although honestly, I could make so many fun with all of our cards that we've made. So we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna place this here. And for the greeting, I wanna go ahead and use Hello Friend. And so I've got this strip of paper. You guys end up with strips like this left over, left and right from all of your cards. When you cut layers, I do. And so I'm gonna go ahead and stamp this. I'm gonna stamp it twice though. Yay, I'm glad you guys like this. Thanks Sue, thanks Becky. Yay, I'm glad you like it, Diana. All right, and then we're gonna go ahead and do some trimming because I don't really want this whole thing to go all the way across here. I want it to take up a little bit less space. So I'm gonna use my paper snips and we're gonna take this one, Friend, but I want to have an even amount of space on the left side here. So now I've cut this hello pretty short. I'm gonna steal the space from this version of it so that it feels a little bit better balanced. Does that make sense? You can see like if I did this one here, it would be a little bit truncated, so it looks a little bit short. And this is scrap anyway, so why not? So there we go. And then we can have our little hello friend here. All right, let's pop some dimensionals on the back. Because I can't remember who said at the beginning that there's the paper and so forth is on their list, but they weren't sure about the stamp set. Well, hopefully you've seen here how much I love the stamp set and how many cool choices there are. But the other thing is, like, who do you send a sea life card to? I mean, I live in the Midwest. There's not a lot of sea life around here. We do crawfish though, crayfish, crawdads, whatever you want to call them. But you know what? I don't think it really matters. Like, this is a fun, cheery, bright colored card with some really cool technique on it. I would send this to anyone to whom I would send a hello friend card. So, all right, we're gonna bring in some of the dies here. So this stamp set has amazing dies. Remember, we used them last week when we did our gift bag here. We used some of the coral and so forth. And so we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna use these two seaweed elements here, which I love in a die set when there are multiples of something, so you can easily cut once and stamp rather than like cut. So we're gonna go ahead and pull these in, and I'm gonna put multi-purpose liquid glue here right on the back of both of these, and we're just gonna glue them straight down to our background. Speaking of our background, I have a kind of surprise in the works here. We're gonna add a little to it. So I'm gonna tell you what bothers me just a teeny bit about this card so far. All right, remember when you make a reverse fold card, you cannot go past this line here. A lot of times I like to overlap the top or the corners or things, but when you're doing this kind of card base, you can't overlap that line because you won't be able to open your card, okay? All right, now, when I look at this, I feel like there's a lot of space around the edge that is very, I don't know, it's just kind of blank space, which is okay. I do like a lot of negative space in my cards, but I feel like we can do more with this, especially with the Soft Waves 3D embossing folder. So I'm gonna pull this, and I've got a piece of lemon lime twist cardstock, so it's color on color. It's set to go right here on this panel, okay? And instead of leaving that flat, actually, I mean, that's kind of pretty there, just with that just extra layered background. I've textured it, and we're gonna pop this on here like that. Now, doesn't that add a ton to this card? I'm super, super happy with how that texture really complements the colors and complements our organic sort of feel. And so we'll layer this here on. Now with a 3D embossing folder, multi-purpose liquid glue is really your friend because it really hits the highlights and so forth and helps you get a good bond there. Whereas an adhesive that just is a lighter adhesive might not get into all the cracks and crevices to really have that bond there. All right, now we're not done because we have to stamp the inside of this. Oh, and I promised you a whole other card with totally different stamps for this. So, all right, so we're gonna stamp here for the inside. I'm gonna pull in our lemon lime twist because we haven't stamped with this yet. And remember, with the Stampin' Up! Colors, we like to repeat colors. And I'm gonna stamp our coral down here. This is about to get covered up, so I don't really care about it. And then we have these fun bubbles from this stamp set. So I'm going to bring in some of these little bubbles here. I'm going to rotate the stamp so that it doesn't look like it's the same stamp over and over again. And then we're going to glue this in. And this is now a great hello friend card. You can put anything you want inside. Thinking of you, miss you, hope you're doing well, happy birthday, whatever the occasion might be. Now we need some bling on here. And the bling that matches this suite, and so I'm featuring it as part of the monthly tutorials, LovenStamps. Oh, yes, I got you, Sue, I got you. Bonnie, I'm glad you like the texture. These are the Sunny Day Iridescent Dots. And so if you click through the link in the video description, it's going to give you all of the things that I've used for today's card, plus some of the ones that I've used for the other projects that are included in the LovenStamps Monthly Tutorials for this month. So they include this one, they include our faux or gift card holder or not. Remember, this is a secret gift card holder pocket right down here. And then one card that I haven't shown you yet. So stay tuned for that one. But anyway, the supply list is designed to make the most of these supplies so you know you'll have lots of really fun things to make with them. So I'm going to go ahead and add some of our Sunny Day dots here. And when you get this card kit, if your order with me this month is more than $50 before shipping and tax, then you're going to get a set of card kits to go. So it's 2 card kits in the mail. And it will include the pieces here that are textured, the die cut, it'll include the little gems, all the pieces here ready to do this. So all you'll need is your own stamps and your own ink. And of course, who doesn't want to play with these things, right? Okay, so you can learn more about that in the video description or on the LovenStamps website under LovenStamps card kits to go. So now, I have a whole nother project to share with you. This one's going to be pretty brief. I'm just going to show you kind of the overview of it, but let me get some ink out of the way. I don't know about you, but open ink pads make me nervous. And sometimes there's people who comment about that, like, that's a lot of open ink, Meg. Aren't you worried about all those things? So I'm going to bring in our Friendly Seagulls stamp set, and we're going to do a quick reverse panel card here. So same thing. I've got my Balmy Azure Afternoon stamp here. I'm going to take our seashells, we're going to stamp them across the back here. So instead of doing like a textured background, although honestly this exact same textured background would be perfect with this card, we're going to stamp the seashells across the bottom here. I've got a piece here of the it's so sad, of the Lemon Lolly cardstock. So this is going to fit right across here like this. And then I have a piece here. This is the Bloom Impressions Designer Series paper. And so we're going to pop this on here like this. And this is a perfect background. This blue here, I love this sort of painted effect for our seagulls, right? Aren't they fun? Okay, oh yeah, Bonnie says the colors make her smile. Yeah, I think you're talking about this one, right, Bonnie? I am totally with you. All right, so then we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna stamp our seagulls, cut them out, and then on the inside it says French fries because the front, we're gonna have a 3-panel greeting here. So I put a greeting here, I'm gonna put a greeting on the inside here, and that's gonna make our whole card. So this is our finished one here. Hey friend, so using our hey friend, you can see the seashells at the bottom. Oh, and then our little friend here in the front. You're going to use one of the Stampin' Write markers or a Stampin' Blend marker to add just a little bit of shadow here underneath. So he has sort of like a place I don't know, maybe it's like a puddle that he's standing in on the edge of the water or something. But you want to give him a little bit of background so he doesn't just look stuck on. And then we have a little banner piece, I love you more than, and then on the inside, French fries. So actually my oldest and I both really love French fries, and so actually this would be a really fun card to send to them. So, but you could use this again for anyone. There's all kinds of card sending occasions, and sometimes there are non-occasions, right? So I am a huge believer in sending cards for no reason at all, and that reason being like, hey, just wanted to let you know that I was thinking of you, or wanted to share something that makes me smile and I thought would make you smile too. Part of what we do as card makers is celebrate. We celebrate the big occasions, the anniversaries, the retirements, the birthdays, the graduations, all of those kinds of things. The holidays, right? Christmas, Valentine's, Easter, whatever. But I think that we need to do a little bit more of celebrating the everyday, sort of the unbirthdays. I mean, if it makes you happy, send unbirthday cards. Actually, that'd be really funny. I could go through I have a lot of birthday cards in my stash. I could go through and write a little, like use a Stampin' Write marker and a coordinating color to write on a piece of paper and stick it in front of the birthday. Happy unbirthday. So I guess that's my challenge. Okay, so today's Tuesday. I'm going to check in with you again on Thursday for our next episode of Maker Memories with Meg. And I am going to challenge you to send, or plan to send, if you can't get it done in the next couple days, that's fine. Send an unbirthday card to someone. It could be a hey friend card, that's fine. It could be an actual unbirthday card, but send a card for no reason at all except to say that you're thinking of someone, because I guarantee that there is someone in your life who could use a smile from hearing from you and knowing that you were thinking of them and you just took a few minutes to make them a card and drop it in the mail. So yay. Okay, Lori says she agrees. Thanks, Lori. All right, so unbirthday challenge. You have to remind me. I might forget by Thursday. I'm going to go send my unbirthday card now so that I have made my own challenge. So if you have to remind me for Thursday morning that we're supposed to check in on our unbirthday challenge, please do remind me. Anyway, so I look forward to seeing you guys on Thursday when we celebrate Happy Cake Day, which is always a day we're celebrating, and that's us for today at least. So as we get towards the end of February, don't forget about celebration and all of the more to celebrate things. If you haven't seen these, oh yay, Bonnie says challenge accepted. Feel free to say challenge accepted in the comments so that we could remember to check in with you. But if you haven't seen the new More to Celebrate, go back a couple of videos from Maker Mornings with Meg. I've talked about them a lot lately. We have a lot of pieces that we've used. We've used the Bee Builder Punch. If you don't have this, oh my gosh, perfect time. We talked about the Happy Labels Pick-a-Punch, which I could have used today. I don't think about it all the time. I'm going to keep this right here, so we're going to try and use this more. Last time we stamped together, we used the Planted Paradise stamp set. I don't know if this one's back. I feel like it might have been gone for a little bit. And then, of course, the Alphabet a la Mode dies. You guys know what I think about those, OMG, and so forth. So anyway, check through those things. Don't forget that celebration is winding down. And I appreciate you guys for hanging out with me this morning. So happy stamping. Good luck with your unbirthday challenge. And I will see you again on Thursday. Happy stamping.